Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be taking a look at the CNN forecast for the 2024 presidential election as of right now. I'll be talking about why specifically I disagree with a lot of the ratings they've made here, and I'll be looking at this map holistically. I'll be looking at how they think states are going to vote in comparison to each other, and from my perspective, why I tend to, again, like I just said, disagree with that, with this prediction. So we're going to get right into it here, just by observing the fundamentals of this map. Obviously, Joe Biden in CNN's prediction is an underdog. Trump has already clinched 272 electoral votes just by the states that he is favored in. There obviously are some toss-ups here like Arizona, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. But even without winning any of them, Trump has won the presidency. So it doesn't matter how these three states vote per CNN. Trump will win the presidency because he is favored in Nevada, Georgia, and Michigan, which are three states that voted for Biden in 2020, and those three states swinging towards Trump would, likely decide the election. So that's their broad prediction, is that regardless of what you think about the toss-up states, Biden is going to lose. And obviously, I disagree with that. In my most recent prediction, said Biden was a very narrow favorite to win. That's not a popular opinion right now. That a lot of the momentum is with Trump. I think that it's a very close election and that we're too far away to have anything definitive. But as of right now, if it was a binary thing, I had to bet money, which do not bet on politics. But if I had to, I would say that you'd be better off betting on Joe Biden, especially right now because Trump is favored. And I think people are going to be a bit more favorable towards Biden in terms of chances of victory come June or July than they are right now. But regardless, the fact of the matter remains that I'm confident that this race is closer than CNN thinks. And I'm saying that for two reasons mainly. The first is that their map, the way that they have certain states and certain regions voting, doesn't line up with the way they have neighboring states voting. So let's take Michigan, for example, which stands out as being in the Trump column. It's lean for Trump, which means they think it's a competitive state, but is, definitely leaning in one direction. Now, that is, to me, a very interesting take because in 2020, if you go back and look at the margin, Biden won Michigan by 3%, and then he won neighboring Wisconsin by 0.6 and neighboring Pennsylvania by 1.2. So Michigan was, full 2% bluer than Wisconsin, and it was a 1.5 bluer than Pennsylvania. And what they're showing is that these states are toss-ups, but that Michigan somehow has swung more. It is, leaning towards Trump definitively. And that would be an outcome that would be historic because Michigan hasn't voted, or Michigan historically votes to the left of these states. In 2016, when Trump won these three states, it was the closest state. In 2012, it was Obama's best of these three. And in 2008, it was a similar thing. In fact, 2004, I'm actually pretty confident that it was also John Kerry's best state, although all three of those states were very close. And I'm also pretty confident that it was Al Gore's best state in 2000, although, again, both Gore and Kerry won these three states very narrowly. And, going back beyond 2000, I think it gets more complicated. But in the past, unless I'm wrong, in the past, I think, in every election since 2000, Bush v. Gore, Michigan has been the bluest of these three states. And so not only does CNN think that it's not going to be the bluest anymore, it thinks it's going to be the reddest by a substantial amount. And there's no evidence for that, really, in the polls. The polls are bad for Biden everywhere. The polls have him down in Michigan, they have him down in Wisconsin, they have him down in Pennsylvania. But they don't have him down in Michigan by so much that it looks, so big in comparison to Pennsylvania or Wisconsin. They have him down, more recent ones have him down by a couple points there and a couple points in Wisconsin, a couple points in Pennsylvania. And again, still very far away from the election, still a lot of undecided voters. So again, you can argue that Biden's going to win, or that Trump's going to win Michigan. I totally get that. I think that there is a legitimate case to be made that he's favored there. I don't think you can make that argument and then at the same time say that he's not favored in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. If Trump wins Michigan, I think he's already won Wisconsin. I think he's already won Pennsylvania. And so that's the first thing that to me stands out about this map is that CNN thinks Michigan is about to defy history here, and we don't really know why that is. Now, the second thing that I just noticed about the margins on this map is that they are very, very conservative. And I don't mean conservative in the sense that, it's a conservative lean or it's a Republican lean. It's that the way that they expect this election to play out seems to be one where the bottom falls out for Joe Biden, where somehow Oregon is more competitive than Texas, or somehow Colorado even, which I think will be even bluer than Oregon this year, is more competitive than Texas. They think that Colorado somehow is, in that same arena as a state like Michigan or Georgia or Nevada. I don't think that at all. Biden won Colorado by 13 in 2020. He won Nevada by 2. He won Michigan by 3, and he won Georgia by 0.3. So Colorado was significantly bluer than these states in 2020, and it also in 2022 was just very, very bad for Republicans. I mean, Republicans thought they had a shot at the Senate race there. They lost it by, I think, 14 or 15 points. They thought they had a shot in making the governorship maybe a little closer. They lost it by almost 20. This state has been very bad for Republicans because it's so left-running. It's getting bigger. It's getting more diverse, getting more educated, and the city of Denver has just exploded in the past 2 decades. And Colorado's a different state than it used to be. And it is just so much more democratic than people even today give it credit for. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden wins it by like 16 or 17. It just has gotten so much more progressive, like even in the past decade. 10 years ago, 2014, Republicans won a Senate race here. That would be absurd if it happened today. So Colorado, New Mexico, Oregon, Virginia, to me, and you can put in New Hampshire as well. I don't really know why you'd have them to the same level of competitiveness as Georgia, Nevada, Michigan, North Carolina, swing states that we all know. And, on the other hand, I don't know why they would have, if they're conservative, if they want to be cautious, say, oh, maybe Oregon's interesting, we'll keep it on the board for now. Why wouldn't they do the same thing for Texas? And what this means is that, they're not leaving Oregon in the, competitive category because they are worried about being, right, like because the argument for Oregon being competitive is that we're 9 months away from the election and that we are still awaiting a lot of things, that a lot can change and that a lot of things can get worse for Biden. That's true. But if that were the case, you'd also have to say the inverse is true, that things can get a lot worse for Trump, that a lot can change in a way that would hurt Trump. And if that were the case, Texas was, would most certainly be on the board. It wouldn't necessarily flip to Biden, but it would be competitive. And Texas was twice as close as Oregon in 2020. So CNN not only thinks that Oregon, New Mexico, Colorado, Virginia are on the board, they think that they're on the board definitively. They're not on the board because, we're a while away or because of uncertainty. They are on the board because they are more competitive than states that were significantly closer than they were in 2020. So that to me is a very, very interesting take. Now CNN, I don't work for CNN and I don't have obviously right now if I applied for a job at CNN, I wouldn't get it because I don't have the qualifications to make a map like this. But I do think that we can look at this map compared to 2020 and just see why it's wrong. I talked a lot about the margins in these states. Oregon, Biden won it by 16. Colorado, Biden won it by 13. Texas, Trump won it by 6. So we can look at that. We can also look at how it trended. Obviously, Colorado, a lot of blue here. Oregon, a lot of blue there. Texas was a mix, but Biden did 4% better statewide than Hillary Clinton. There's a lot of red arrows down here, but the population is more up here, which is more blue. And so, that to me just shows that this CNN map isn't really one that is likely to happen. And then finally, I just want to look at it just broadly here. Obviously, Trump can definitely win. I think there are a lot of smart people who think Trump is going to win. You can make a map in which Trump is favored to win the election just based off the Electoral College. I totally understand that, and I totally think that there is a reasonable argument to be made there. What I don't think is that you can make a map without with toss-ups and think that Trump wins. I think that if you were to make a map and you had Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania in the toss-up, I think you'd have to have Michigan definitely in the toss-up, if not leaning towards Biden, because I think Michigan's, again, going to be bluer than Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, but I'd put it in the toss-up. I'd put Nevada in the toss-up. And, Georgia for now is pretty bad for Biden, but again, if you're predicting it for November, I think Georgia could also be in the toss-up. And so that is where I'd have it. CNN outright thinks Trump is just going to win. And so to me, you can make that argument. You can't make it while having toss-ups on the board because if you are significantly more confident that Biden is going to lose Michigan and Nevada than you are about anything in Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or Georgia or Arizona, that just does not make any sense to me. Again, Michigan was bluer than these states in 2020. Biden won it by 3. He won Arizona by 0.3. He won Georgia by 0.2 or 0.3. And he won Pennsylvania by 1.2. So Michigan, of these, competitive states that flipped to Biden in 2020, Michigan was the bluest by far, and CNN thinks it's going to be, among the reddest. So that's my analysis. Again, as you can probably tell, most of my beef with this map is with Michigan in specific, because it is just such a, such a unique rating. But again, obviously, This map certainly has its reasons behind it. I'd be interested to see why. They don't really. I don't love CNN. Or CNN's level of analysis here. They just explain to you why the Electoral College is important and what it is. And as great as that is, it doesn't really, justify the rating. So again, let me know what you think. Let me know what your map looks like as of right now. Let me know what you want to see next from the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one.